Toning up comes down to two things. There's two parts of the equation. One is losing fat, and the second is gaining muscle. You see, when you have higher body fat on your body and a lower muscle mass, you don't look toned, you look fat. Hello. Welcome to Healthy Systems Podcast, everybody. Today's topic is something that is very, very important, especially for fat loss and fitness, which is nutrition really 80% of the game? Okay. Is nutrition really what gets you the 80% of the results that you're looking for? And the answer is no, it's not. Okay. So I'm going to break this podcast into a couple different parts because I don't want it to be too long, but I still want it to be structured so you guys get the most value. Okay. So first thing we have to realize is when it comes to toning up, okay, like assuming your goal is to tone up. Toning up comes down to two things. There's two parts of the equation. One is losing fat, and the second is gaining muscle. You see, when you have higher body fat on your body and a lower muscle mass, you don't look toned, you look fat. Okay, it's because you have more fat on your body. Now, as you go down in body fat and you go up in your muscle mass, right, you start gaining more muscle. Now, let's consider your arms. So if you have more fat on your arms and very little muscle, your arms are going to look loose and they just kind of like feel like you have arm fat, right? And on the other side, as you go down in fat and as you gain some more biceps, more triceps, gain some more muscle, what's going to happen is your arms are going to have more toned look. They're going to be more tightened up. So to get there, how do we get toned, right? Well, we don't get toned just by nutrition alone. Okay, and this is very important because remember, there are two parts to this equation. There's the gaining muscle and there's the losing fat. Nutrition will help you lose fat, but will nutrition alone help you gain muscle? And the answer is hell no, right? Gabrielle Lyon, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, just wrote an amazing book on it. You just write her name on Amazon and the book shows up. And in that book, she makes the case. She's like, hey, man, you need to do resistance training or strength training to create that muscle protein synthesis process in your body to generate that need. Like you need to tell your body, you need to like give it a reason to gain muscle. You can't just eat high protein diet. You can't just eat a very healthy diet and sit on a couch and be like, yeah, why my body is not gaining muscle, right? So at the end of the day, the question goes back to, is nutrition 80% of the game? Well, nutrition is 80% of the game if the sole purpose is just to lose fat. Nutrition is not 80% of the game if the sole purpose is to get toned, okay? Because now it is maybe 40% of the game, right? If the goal is to get toned, nutrition is 40% of the game. The other 40% comes back to training. We need to generate that demand in your body to now where like you're pushing yourself with the resistance training in the gym. There are various forms of resistance training. You can go lift weights, you can do other sorts of activities, but the point being is nutrition is not 80% of the game when it comes to toning up. And I know from Healthy Systems audience that 90% of you, your goal is to tone up. So that's why in Training with the Titans, we focus on those three-legged stool that I always talk about: your nutrition, your training, and then your accountability. Because if for toning up, nutrition is 40% of the game, training is the other 40%, the remaining 20% is accountability. Because if we give you the best workouts, the best nutrition, and you cannot consistently execute on them and there's nobody keeping you in check, you're going to fail. You're not going to get toned. So that's why those three things come into play. Okay. So now let's take it a step further because you guys, now you understand that nutrition, 80% of the game, being 80% of the game is a myth and it doesn't really justify its place in reality. So now the next thing would be calories, okay? When it comes to fat loss, calories, the types of foods you eat, organic foods, healthy foods, unhealthy foods, how much do they contribute, okay? So these are some of my tweets that I've written over the years on my Facebook. If you go back far enough, you'll find them, but I'll go ahead and read them for you. So one of them said, so the tweet goes, when it comes to fat loss, how much you eat matters a lot more than what you eat. Okay. And I know I'm going to have some pissed off our trainers on this one because, oh yeah, eat real whole foods every day. Yes, do that. But the thing is, in fat loss specifically, how much you eat matters a lot more than what you eat. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people who tell me, Mo, I eat healthy, but the weight is not going down. Because fat loss comes down to the quantity of the calories, how much you're eating, right? So you could totally overeat healthy organic foods. And if you're overeating healthy organic foods, if you're consuming more calories than you're burning, you will gain fat, because fat loss comes down to how many calories you consume and how many are you burning. If you're consuming more than you're burning, you're going to keep gaining weight. If you're burning more than you're consuming, you'll keep losing weight. Okay, remember that. So for fat loss, how much you eat matters more than what you eat. Now, the next part of the equation is your health. For health, what you eat matters more than how much you eat. Okay, so now when it comes to being healthy as a person and just being healthy overall, you want to add more whole foods to your diet because they're going to help you, right? Now, combining both fat loss and health, the last thing is, this is what I specialize in at Training with the Titans. So when clients come to us, they want to lose fat, right? But we want to lose fat in a healthy manner. And oftentimes what people believe is, oh yeah, I just want to lose fat as quickly as possible. And I've tried these diets and they work for me, etc., or they don't work for me. And I often tell them, I'm like, hey, you can just starve yourself. Super easy way to lose weight. Just starve yourself, right? But the thing is, you don't want to do that because now your hormones, your health are going to be compromised. So at the end of the day, you want to lose fat in a healthy manner. Okay. So what I specialize in as a coach, what I work with a lot of my clients on is helping them lose fat in a healthy manner, because there's tons of ways, snake oils that teach you how to lose fat in an unhealthy manner, which is not good, because what's the point of losing fat and getting to the other side and being like, I'm 30 pounds lighter, but I did it in the most unhealthy, unsustainable manner, right? It's not fun. It's not good for you. So how do you achieve fat loss in a healthy manner? Super easy. You have a diet that is in a caloric deficit where you're consuming less calories than you're burning, but that those foods that you're eating, 80% of them are whole foods. That's the trick, everybody. That's it, right? This is your $1 million coaching right there. So at the end of the day for you, when it comes to toning up, nutrition is not 80% of the game. When it comes to fat loss, how much you eat matters a lot more than what you eat, okay? When it comes to your health, what you eat matters a lot more than how much you eat, okay? So I'm like giving you a lot of these mathematical things because if you can just write them down, you'll start visualizing it. You start realizing what I mean by that, okay? And if you're already on your health and fitness journey, you will know what I mean. And hopefully this is giving you light bulb moments where you're like, man, Mo, this makes so much sense because I've been eating avocado toast every day and they're healthy per se, but I'm not losing fat, right? Because those avocado toasts are actually putting you in a caloric surplus than a caloric deficit. If you eat nothing but healthy foods, but those healthy foods are very, very high calorie, what's going to happen is you're going to keep gaining weight or you're not going to lose any weight, okay? Versus the guy eating brownies on the other side, but he's in a caloric deficit, he's going to keep losing weight, right? So at the end of the day, knowing these nuances are very important. They say when you're talking to an expert, they give you the nuanced, detailed answers. When you're talking to a generalist, they just talk in theory. So a lot of the things I talk about in healthy systems is very specific, right? I give you real frameworks, real healthy systems that you can actually practically put into picture, right? Put into play. And this is also something you see this is a complete side tangent. This is also something you see in politicians. A politician that is very expert in finance, a politician that had to run businesses and had teams, when you ask them a question, they give you a more specific answer, right? The last example that comes to mind was I was watching an episode with AI expert on artificial intelligence, and this guy was legit. So every question on artificial intelligence the podcast host asked him, he gave very specific engineering answers that a normal person could understand. But when you ask a normal person that just, the bros on the internet that are talking about AI that don't really know AI, those guys always give a theory answer. So it's always funny. Like if you want to test someone's intelligence, see how specific of an answer they can give you. But back to this, right? Nutrition, 80% of the game? No, right? It's mostly 40% of the game when it comes to toning up. And then just bring it back down to fat loss and health. You want to lose fat in a healthy manner, which comes down to eating whole foods, but making sure you're not overeating them. Okay. So you can achieve fat loss, look lean, but do it in the healthiest manner. So hope this helps. If you want me to do more podcasts like this, this is the stuff. This is my day job. This is what I do. This is what I love. I talk to at least 10 people a day while coaching them on this stuff when it comes to nutrition. So hope this helps. And yeah, look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Systems podcast. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. Now, here are 2 ways I can help you for free. One, you can join our free Facebook community by just going to this link, bit.ly/Titan Facebook group. Just type that into your browser and then answer 2 questions, and then we'll let you into our Facebook community where you'll meet other people, as well as we have a lot of free resources in terms of meal plans, workouts, all kinds of stuff in there. Second way I can help you for free is if you follow me on Instagram at Mo Gaius, MOE, G as in George, H as in horse, I as in India, A as in apple, S as in Sam. Follow me there and then shoot me a message with the word Healthy Systems, and then I'll be sure to send you a free gift. Other than that, keep listening in, and I really appreciate you.